hopefully this thing doesn't collapse.
Yeah, that's always kind of the goal in starting this, is just kind of making sure that all this equipment don't fall apart.
It's kind of cool. Like, it feels nice. Like,
it's kind of like a dirt bike. You get on just hoping that everything's
runs tight
and shit don't go wrong.
Well, originally we had these all like connected to the side tables in the main table, and we didn't like it because they barely fit on and they were falling off. And we broke one, and then he's like, just latch it to the chair. So like, this is definitely by far the best setup we've had.
Yeah, and there was the prior setup, there was a good chance that we were going to have a little malfunction like halfway through the episode.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of nice having you on, because like Moto Talk, it's easy for me.
Yeah,
I pay attention plenty. Yeah, I feel right. I already got shit in my head ready to go.
Yeah, nice. Well, we are back and we are live. That red light is on.
And it's not blinking.
And it's not blinking this time. So we are getting better at making sure that we cut before Hesh Boy's done filming and before the audio is done. And we're still figuring all this shit out. We're still C-class, but...
I'm not trying to point fingers, but Hesh Boy told us we had like 5 minutes last time, and that thing was blinking in like a minute. Yeah, so your time was off. You got fined for that. We had to deduct the pay that we don't give them.
You'll get your invoice in the mail from the money that we don't pay you.
You owe us, actually.
But we did figure out that when that light is blinking...
that means it's done.
It's done filming.
Yeah, it's not a warning. It's done.
What does it only have? Like, you can only do a certain amount of time.
It's like 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. So like and
that's why we got the clock
off. Yeah. It's just the
battery or what?
Well, I could go out and buy a bigger memory card if I wasn't broke.
So it's 55 minutes of memory. That's
yeah. The camera could go like 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours probably.
In order to make that happen, click subscribe, tell your friends.
Yeah. we just got monetized on YouTube, so if you actually go and subscribe or like leave a comment or like or any of that shit, it actually does help out. So
yeah. I think we're up to like $1.25 each for the three of us is what we've made from YouTube so far.
Yeah, the Hemecula videos got like 17K, and I think that one brought in like $5.28 or something.
Bitch.
So we're making progress. If you guys help us out, we'll go out and get, a new memory card.
2 more years of that and we'll be able to afford a memory card.
Right.
I feel like I'm in the tree.
Oh yeah, you're fully in the wilderness right now.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Oh dude, leave the singing to Hesh Boy.
Yeah, my voice sucks.
Alright, well we are back and we are live for the second time. Dylan, bring us in.
What's up everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Insiders Podcast, brought to you by the Media Pub and Irenic CBD. Today we're joined by Max Anstie. What's up, Max? Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, mate. I'm obviously I'd like to have been in Houston the last few days, but I'm getting better. I'm seeing the doctor tomorrow. I'm having a checkup with Dr. Ryman and Dr. Baum at Loma Linda, so I'm hoping that things are giving me the green light to start training and start riding again soon. So.
Yeah, we hope so too. Take us through what happened. It was the last day of riding before H1.
Yeah.
What happened and what was the injury?
So, I don't remember a lot of that day, but everything was so ready. It was a shame. We'd done our prep, everything was going well, and it was the very last day. We were at State Fair, just doing my motos, and I ended up just going down on a step on, step off. I clipped the top of. So honestly, I don't remember a lot.
Right.
I broke a transverse process of L4, so it's right at the bottom of your back, but it's not that bad. It sounds bad, but it to be honest, my back doesn't hurt that much. I'm stiff, my hips are stiff, and I hit my head a little bit, so that takes a couple of weeks. I've got the impact test again tomorrow.
Right.
We've got to do, which I really do think is like a really good thing over here in America, that they put so much emphasis on the concussions. I don't even know why I'm getting into that, but it's in Europe, if you knock yourself out, just come back next
when you
week.
want.
Yeah, just got like race next week if you want it. But it's not. It's definitely not as monitorized as over here, and I really think it's good because that impact test definitely you've got to be, your brain's got to be switched on to get through that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. I'll be fine. I think I feel good. I did go for a little mountain bike ride today, steady. So I'm hoping that they give me the green light tomorrow to go, okay, right, you can start training and riding again maybe by the end of next week, and give me a couple of weeks. I need a couple of weeks of good riding and training to come back. I'm hoping for Orlando, but then again, it depends on how it goes, how I feel. I'm also not silly, like I've been watching the races too. You need to be on it, you know.
You do, for sure.
And that's the thing that I was gutted about, really, was I was so ready and I felt fit and I was feeling really good with the bike. So it's one of those, but I'll get back to it, and if I come back in Orlando, great. And then you've got a few more weeks there because they're not doing 3 races in a week. You've got Orlando 2 weeks, then Daytona. So I'm sure Daytona will be quite a nice one for me to start stepping up at, because it'll be more outdoor style, and it looks cool.
It's not so technical,
well, and I think worst case, Daytona's probably a pretty good time frame. You should be back definitely by Daytona.
Exactly. So I'm pushing for Orlando, but we'll see tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
So we, for anybody who doesn't know Max, right when I moved out here, I didn't even plan on actually staying here when I met Max, and went to the track the first day, and Max was the coolest dude ever, and I had been a fan of Max for a long time. But so we did our whole All Max S Outdoor series.
All Max S.
Which, go check that out on YouTube if you haven't already.
It's good shit.
And then you started right into Supercross, and you were looking super solid, prior to the crash. How did you, I asked you all this shit, prior to the outdoors, and I pretty much already know what your answer is going to be. But did you have any expectations going into Supercross? Because you were looking good. Like Miriam just said that, you set like the fastest lap time at Viney's. And
I didn't even know that. As a racer, I've learned to focus on myself, and I'm also, if you can start saying, I want to be top 10 or top 5. Look at the top 10, top 20 in that 450 class. They're all champions. They're all great riders. You've got to have a lot of respect for.
They've all won at least a main event.
The top 18 is like legit factory.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it was the same coming into outdoors. It was a lot of unknowns for me. All I can do is prepare as well as I can, do my laps, do my work, do my training in the gym, do my cycling, work with my team. Honestly, like my boys, the Twisted THEP team, I've got Dave Dye and Clark, my crew chief and my mechanic. They were really helping me put me in the ballpark with settings, because again, for me, the difficult thing was, say I'm going through the whoops, right, and it kicks. Is that my technique? Is that me? I need to change something. Is that my line? Is that normal, or is that the bike?
Right.
Whereas on outdoors, I'm a lot more experienced with knowing, okay, now here's what I want to do, or I miss these bumps, or whatever. So, again, it's I obviously know that there's going to be a lot to learn, and obviously I'd have liked to have, got my feet wet in the first few Houstons, but again, there's 17 rounds, so even if I come back in Orlando, I think there's like 12 rounds to go, so it's not too much of a big deal. I am going to get to race and get my feet wet, but expectation wise, I'm not silly in, I know the boys are very, very good, but I also believe in my equipment and the work that I'm doing, or I was doing. It might take me a few rounds to get into it now, but I'm definitely I'm going there to go racing. For sure. I'm not going there. I might say all this. I might just go to you might not even make it into the main event. That's a hard enough thing in itself.
Right. And this year, that really is the case.
Job one, make it into the main. job too. Go and race and see where you end up. But I, in myself, believe in the work that I've been doing. I think I'll be able to go and race the boys, or be in there, you know, with them. I think my starts are going to be very good. The bike is very good on the start. Again, there's a lot to learn, and it's a bit like outdoors. I went there with no idea. I could have been a million miles off, and we ended up being in the ballpark. Supercross is going to be a similar thing. I might be I'm sure that I'm going to go to the first few races and go, oh, all right, I don't feel that comfortable here, or I'm not that happy around this part of the track. Let's go and work on this when we go home. Again, these Houstons, you don't really get a chance to do that. That's the Houston and Indy 3 races in a week. It's mainly about recovery, and I think the riders that have, let's say, a last year's setup or last year's bike or settings that are not changed very much, you can build a lot of confidence off that. But it is what it is. I'm really, obviously, I'm actually, if this was right now before going into the first race, I'm so excited about going racing Supercross. Like, Supercross is the pinnacle of the sport. It's what I grew up watching. It's what pretty much everyone grows up watching. You know, if you're a fan, you can go and ride an outdoor track, but you can't go and ride a Supercross track. Supercross is the top of the top, and I just want to be in the race and getting out there. On the other side, I'm a bit gutted that obviously I'm not out there right now, but I will get there. It's just I need to do as much rehab as I can and physio at the moment, and then come out and see where we're at, and then go from there. I'm gonna have to learn, but it is what it is.
The one thing I've been curious about is you signed with the team last year, correct? Before Supercross? Like before the season started last year. And you know, they had Oleans on the bike at that time. Now this year they've transitioned to Showa. I think Nolene is still doing the suspension, correct? Clark. How far has that bike come in the last year, with especially switching this year to Showa and still working with Clark? But you know, I feel like I'm a firm believer Showa is a lot better.
Honestly, I think from when I first met the team, I saw the potential. I had a meeting with Dustin, with Clark, with Aaron, with everyone up there, and then they brought Dave on board actually for me for the outdoors, which really helped make things solid. And Dave's got a lot of experience.
So much experience.
Many great riders. So I feel like together my goal in outdoors was to put the team on the map. I mean, obviously they're a great team anyway. I believe in them. But my goal was to just, let's be in the race. Let's now race. And we led laps. We whole-shotted. We were there. And my goal in outdoors, kind of in the back of my head, was I wanted to beat JGR, and obviously they wanted to beat us, and it was like, okay, so I always found myself in a battle with those guys. Obviously, so you'd never want to see a team go away, and I didn't really know JGR very much, but with them stepping back, we are the main 450 team. You know, we are the factory supported Suzuki team. So that in itself has also elevated, and I think, I tell you, another cool thing is, you know, when you get the gold rims, that's sort of like, when you get the gold rims on the Suzuki, that's sort of like the stamp of,
I just saw that recently, like less than a month ago. I'm like, are they breaking in race bikes? Like, what's going on? These things look sick.
I had some gold rims we were breaking in, and I was like, oh, now I feel like I'm Bubba or something on like Chad
all of a sudden just felt better.
The yellow rims look sick on the bike.
It was very cool. So I do feel like, yes, things have stepped up, and with regards to Öhlins and the suspension side of things, you know, Öhlins, I've won GPs with Öhlins on 250s in 2014 and 15 with Dixon over there, and we made the best of the Öhlins in the outdoors. It was just the opportunity came up with Showa, and I did some testing actually on outdoors straight after the outdoor season at Glen Helen, and again it comes back to what I was saying earlier about it's with the Showa, the reason why I wanted to maybe go that direction slightly more than I believed in the Öhlins, but with me going into Supercross new, like I was saying, going through the whoops. Is it me? Do I need to change my line? Do I need to do something different? Is it the bike?
Right.
I know with the Showa, because X amount of riders use the Showa stuff, the settings that we have are going to be in the ballpark.
Yes.
I might not be 100%, but I might be 90%.
Right.
And then with Öhlins, for me coming in without much experience, it was tough because you don't have anyone else to go, okay, right, Cinderella uses this.
A lot of questions and no answers.
It was just, for outdoors, I believe there, and in Europe, they've had great success, and they are. It's just in America, Showa and just is. They're superior. What they use,
right? Well, and I feel like
teams use.
In Öhlins, I feel like it can be good, and I've heard good things outdoors. I just feel like Supercross, they lack experience because I mean they're created in Europe. They're not American made, and they just don't have a lot of Supercross experience.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. I mean, I believe the team's going in the right direction. All
Absolutely.
of our bike, I'm really happy with it, and I was really happy with the Öhlins stuff in outdoors. We did great. I led a lot of laps, but moving forward, I'm happy with the way that the team have gone, and it is what it is. It changes from year to year wherever you are. So I think. Obviously, I want to go and race Supercross right now and see how it works. But on the practice tracks and test tracks, riding around Lake Elsinore or State Fair or Montfort's or wherever, and I'm feeling comfortable. I'm not struggling with like rhythm sections or. From the outside, it's quite hard when you watch Supercross. You think, oh, that looks like difficult to get that 3 out of the turn or this or that. And even with the whoops, I'm getting more and more confident and I'm having a good time with it. I've got Adam Enticknap. He's a great teammate, and to be honest, he helps me a lot just with random questions. I'll phone him. I say, all right, can you change, like even just a random question I had the other day. I was like, can you change gear in the whoops? Because I wanted to go into the whoops in third and then shift up to fourth. And he was like, yeah, you probably don't want to be doing that.
No.
And I was like, oh, imagine if you could
You catch neutral.
Yeah.
Pastrana can do it. That's about it.
Yeah. I was thinking like, I just had a few ideas, and then because again, I'm going to go to one of these few of these Supercross races, and there's going to be a section that I've not done on a test track or a practice track. And I'm going to be like, how do you do that? Even down to using first gear, it's surprising on the 450 how sometimes you need first gear to get out of these little like tiny little doubles out of turns, and like second gear is like and first gear and on outdoors I never use first gear apart from being in the pits. First gear you might as well not even had it.
You take it out.
Whereas you have to kind of learn a few different things. Like I'm sure at the last Supercross in Houston 3 yesterday, went over the wall, triple. I guarantee they were first gear, triple, single, inside first, shift up to second, because that's what I
super tight.
Yeah, and it's interesting because unless you know what it feels like, you normally on outdoors you never go below second.
Gearing's important too. So depending on your gearing, some bikes you can't pull second. You know what I mean? Exactly. For a tight rhythm, for sure.
And that's what last weekend. Not the last race, but the second round when Barsha, he broke his shifter off or something, and he got locked in first gear. And even I was asking, like, how did he get locked in first gear? Like, why was he ever in first gear? But that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even know that you guys
ever hit whoops in first gear?
I've never hit whoops.
First gear whoops are not cool.
If the closest thing that I've hit on whoops was that roller section on the pit bike track at Lake Elsinore, and I almost weeded through those every lap. So,
to be honest, if he was stuck in second, it would have actually not been too bad.
It would have been fine. It would have been fine.
Yeah, I can't remember I can't even remember the track, but you only need third, maybe fourth in the whoops sometimes if you've got a good run into them, or going across the start straight. But first gear is different. It's just a different thing. I'm not never really had to use it on outdoors, so
I would assume that's not a normal thing.
No.
But anyway, so I want to get back to Supercross at some point, but So this last outdoor season, you're first in America in 450 class. Mm-hmm. You did have some good runs. You led some laps, like you said. We had one podium at Loretta's, I believe, right?
Second.
In the moto, yeah.
Yeah, second moto.
Loretta's 2, I think.
Yeah.
Loretta's 2. Only in the moto, but yeah.
Right. But, you know, first year over here in the 450 class, you know, people were definitely unsure of how you were going to do it first. How would you rank some of your finishes or your performances over here compared to some of your GP finishes? Because your credentials in the GPs are pretty
very high.
Yeah.
Interesting question, actually. So the picture of America, I was coming off of an Achilles injury. I went to the first Loretta's and honestly felt like I was riding around on one leg. So I know from the outside looking in, it doesn't really matter when you're out there racing, you're racing. Mm-hmm. And fans and people don't, it doesn't really matter. You've got to go and perform. My goal, the goal was different. In outdoors, my goal was to, I didn't know where the bike was, because again, that's another thing. A lot of the 450 guys, they only ride in Florida. There's I barely rode with anyone. Like I rode with the 250 kids at Elsinore,
Glen Helen,
I mean, and Pala. There was a few days when we'd see some, but mainly 250 guys. Mm-hmm. So it was hard to really get a gauge of, okay, here's where we are. So coming into America, it was a whole new thing. Achilles injury, I was like, right, I'm going to have to deal with this, and I just wanted to be solid throughout the year, put the team on the map to, okay, right, we're in the race, and then go from there. And yeah, in the second race, I found myself getting great starts, leading laps. I mean, it was sort of my cup of tea with the ground, like it was all rutty, and yeah, I felt fine there. But again, that was strange, because we'd ridden at Glen Helen, then you don't even need a tear off. There's no ruts at any of the practice tracks. Pala, maybe on a fast Tuesday or whatever, they rip it a little bit, but it's still completely different from going to Loretta's and where it was deep.
Yeah,
so
it's hard pack and blows out.
Yeah, so we went there, and I, again, coming back to the bike setup, I said I did one lap in practice, and I came straight in. I said, right, pull the forks through, do this. And they were like, oh, hey, hold on, you've never you've not ridden with this setting the whole time. I'm like, yeah, just trust me, it'll be fine. Literally went out, did 2 laps, and I was like 7th in the first practice, and I was like, right, okay. When I got to the race, I knew the sort of thing. Like, I knew how to ride that kind of thing. And obviously, it's different in California because the practice tracks are different. How would I rate my performances to in Europe? I mean, I've won motos, I've won the Motocross Nations. I'm not yet the outdoor championship. I achieved what I wanted to achieve with the team and put myself there, but the whole thing was learning. To be honest, I'm looking forward to this outdoor season coming up, especially with the, like you said, with the suspension and with a few things that have changed. I really feel like going into the outdoor season with a full, and it's the same like with me going into Supercross. My mindset is I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, so I just have to focus on myself and learn, perform, get in the race, right, establish myself as okay, right, I can even just do the jumps. I can do the quads that the Cincerillos and the proper boys are doing. I need to start being there. Right, I need to go through the whoops fast. Maybe not quite as fast as Malcolm Stewart, but I need to go through the whoops fast. I need to be in the ballpark in the race. Okay, right, we're there. Take that into the next year. You can't do it all in 1 year. So I feel like my settings and my bike going into the outdoor season coming up will translate and give me a lot of confidence, because I know that the bike was good and we've only improved it. So no, I don't feel like as a race, you never feel like you achieved.
It's never good enough.
Wanted to achieve. Yeah, I mean, you want to win. We're here to. That's what we want to do. If you don't think that, then there's no point in being out there. You train to win. But obviously, there's a hell of a lot of other guys that are doing the same thing. But I feel like I did a good job. I did the job that I needed to do. But yeah, going into next year, I want to be in the race more. I want to be in there, like battling with the top guys all the time. But
right. And I mean, it was what, 17 you won nations?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's what I don't even know if a lot of people realize or remember that. But in 2017, you waxed nations. You went 1-1. You have that grin.
Was that Matley Basin?
That was Matley Basin.
Ooh, home team.
I was talking to someone the other day. It was actually to Kylie Villapoto, Ryan Villapoto's sister, who is working for Thor. She said she was at Matley Basin in 2006 when, I think it was 2006, and I was stood on the side of the track too. I was only 11 or 12 or 13 maybe, when Stefan Everts went around the outside of Bubba and Ryan Villapoto and Caroli. They were going at it, and I remember sitting there thinking, wow, I'm never gonna, like, this is amazing, like I'm never going to be able to race these guys.
Right.
And Billy McKenzie, who was Team GB at the time, whole shotted, and I remember the crowd just went absolutely wild. It was like literally gave me goosebumps, and I was a little kid like, whoa. And then 2017 I was sat on the start line thinking, okay, now
time flies.
I'm like,
right.
I remember I stood on that turn at the back, and then I whole shotted, and I was just like, okay, right, okay, and
crowd going crazy.
Good motivation.
Yeah, it was crazy, and you know, obviously, again, I did great in GPs, and I loved it, and I went from team to team and bike to bike, and that's not something you always want to do. I think 1 year on a bike is not long enough. I rode for a lot of great teams and met a lot of great people, and at the time when I was moving to America, I was a bit torn. Like, I was like, man, I feel like I never achieved what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to be in the fight for a championship.
Right.
Like, I was on a 250 in 2015. I was like 50 points out going into the last race. At the last race, I was still 49 points out. So if like the first and second guy, it was Geyser and Jonas, didn't ride, and I went 1-1, I would have won it.
Right.
But it was like, I was there, and I wanted to do that on a 450, and it never really happened, and I had great races. Like, I won my last actual ever GP moto, which was at Lommel. I won the qualifying race and then won the first moto. I DNF'd, crashed on the start and bent the bike up, and second moto I won, and then that was it. I had a punctured lung, didn't get to race the rest of that year in 19, and came to America. But again, you could never say. One thing I've learned is you can never say never with GPs or with Europe, America, whatever, because I remember getting off of my 250 in 2016 Motocross of Nations in Italy, Maggiora, thinking, well, that was a shitty race. I didn't do very well. Parked the bike up and thought, I'm not going to ever ride a 250 again. When I came to America, I got the opportunity to test for a filling guy for Colt Nichols at one point on Star Yamaha. I did 2 days of riding that bike, and I was like, man, I haven't ridden a 250 in like 5 or 6 years. Like, it's been a long time, and then I thought, wow, you know, I remember the feeling at that point, thinking, oh, I never did what I wanted to do on a 250. Right. I was third in the World Championship. I won a lot of races, but I never did what I wanted to do. Right. And I think as a racer, that's normal. You know, you always want to be better. And
for sure.
And but yeah, like I said, all you can do is look forward. I'm looking forward to Supercross. I'm looking forward to the outdoors coming up. You've got to make it to outdoors. Look, you can crash at any moment. I didn't even make it to the first round, and that was the day before I was flying. I crashed
should have been on a plane.
Tuesday. Right. I crashed on Tuesday, was in the hospital until 1 o'clock in the morning Wednesday, and my flight was like Wednesday morning. So I was like, it was a bummer. But that's the name of the game, and you've got to be able to bounce and rebound and do yeah, you've got to be able to look after yourself, look after your body, reach out to the right people. And we were even talking about it with Thurex and physios and chiropractors, and knowing the right people. That's what this year has really been about for me, is finding my group of people that are in my corner to go, okay, right, we've had this, let's go here. Even Dr. Ryman, I've known him for years, since I was out here when I was younger, and as soon as I crashed, I phoned Dr. Ryman, right, what do I need to do with this, and they get me dialed, and that is something that takes time, because I remember when I first came over with my Achilles, I didn't know who to speak to and what to do, and you don't really, it's like, it's hard.
Right.
You need that routine.
It's nice having all their phone numbers now.
Yeah.
Ryman, Alexander.
Not that you actually want them, because you don't want to crash.
No, but I can't think of how, there's been on probably a handful of races where I've gotten hurt at the race, and Alexander's the one to pick me up off the track, and he's like, text me on Sunday, I'll get you in Monday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nice to have.
It's nice to have, but you hope you never use it.
Right.
But yeah, and again, like in our sport, it's days matter. Like if you can get in on Monday instead of getting in on Friday, that's a whole week you've gained. You know, nowadays with this season, that's 3 races, well, pretty much.
Right. Well, and with the way we recover nowadays, it's like every day counts.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you break a collarbone, it used to be a 6-week recovery. Now it's like 2 to 3 weeks, and you're back to it, back on a bike. One thing, I think a lot of people are curious, but I've always been curious myself. What do you think, like watching, like you coming over here, or like, seeing Americans going to Europe, like Villopoto, he struggled a bit in the GPs. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's mental? What do you think's the biggest obstacle coming to a different country in racing? I get
asked that about the Motocross of Nations. Like, why do the Europeans seem to be winning over the Americans? So I've said this before. I was at Redbud. I beat Tomac in Redbud. I looked back and he was right behind me. And America had a bad day.
Yeah, really bad.
1 week later, I was also in the stadium at Monster Cup when he won $1 million.
Right.
What do you think he trained more for? I've won 1-1 at the Motocross Nations, and I got £417, which is about $500. He went.
Yeah, no, he was riding Supercross the whole time.
At Vegas and wins $1 million. Right. Like, God, that's what you want to do, So I feel like, and being here now, you spend 9 months of the year doing Supercross. So and outdoors definitely takes a back seat in America. Even look at some of the teams. Some of the teams don't even do the outdoors now, and it's a shame, because I love motocross, and I think motocross for the fans is something that
racing.
A fan can go and ride a motocross track.
Right.
You
they can relate.
Glen Helen. Like, Glen Helen is iconic, and I got people from England come over. I mean, obviously not at the moment, but year after year after year to go and ride Glen Helen. So I feel like the biggest difference is obviously, well, not the biggest difference. What you've got to remember is MXGP and Europeans are the top of what they do. Everything they do 24/7. Even right now, I'm watching videos. I follow all of them. I know where they are. They're in Gravenbroich. They're in Germany. They're in the snow. They're in the cold. They're doing their testing. They're doing their work. They're down in Spain. Whatever. They are the best of the best at the MXGP, because that's what they do. That's
12 months a year.
Yeah, and they are training for that. They are the best at that. MXGP is also prepared differently from American races and things like that. So, but again, you couldn't take even a European. There's not many European riders or European teams that could switch to America, because America, they are the best of the best at what they do, which is Supercross. You've got the factory teams, whatever, they are the top of the sport. So you can't really, as a racer that's in it and knows it, you can't really you can't go to Europe with an American bike, and you can't go and race Supercross with a European bike. It just wouldn't work. And that's why, like, even coming into this year, like, there were certain settings that were different, or even different things with my team and Suzuki from what I used in GPs. And so you just have to trust that they know what they're doing. The team know what they're doing, because they have the experience of it. They've not won X amount of races and stuff in America. If you're a factory Kawasaki or a factory Husky or a factory KTM guy, you can't go and say, oh, I want to run my European stuff, because the American stuff works and the European stuff works over there. So I think that's the biggest thing. Also, I think for Americans going to Europe, it's tough because it's very, very different. The culture is very different.
It's a culture shock for sure.
America is, what I learned this year, it's very, very, very nice, but it's also very, very easy. Like I said, Glen Helen, you don't have to use tariff. It gets hot, really hot. That's one thing it does get in the summer. Jeez, it was hot for you guys when we were out.
Well, and Europeans, they're not. You guys aren't used to humidity, huh?
No, but we're not used to humidity. But then when you go to Thailand or you go to Indonesia, it is hot there.
Yeah.
So we deal with that, but. Yes, the heat is different, but Florida wasn't too bad even this year. But I'm saying the practicing, so you barely have to wash your boots. You don't even have to use tear-offs. Whereas in Europe, it's a 2-hour cleaning job after you get done, because everything's
Sand,
completely covered
mud.
in crap. Yeah, and I think then also traveling. So, for instance, traveling from here to Florida or wherever the races are, you land and there's still a Whole Foods there, there's still a Target, there's still the same thing. So
same culture.
You can get the same food.
Right.
Okay, you might be in a different hotel, in a different bed, in a different place in
maybe less palm
Tennessee,
trees.
or
But
whatever.
it feels like the same setting.
But you can eat the same food, which is a big thing too. And the flights are not that bad. Whereas say you fly to Indonesia, half of my bag is full of rice and canned tuna and almonds and basic bland stuff, which is not that nice, but
they don't have it there.
It's like you can't get the same stuff. And then it's like, do you want to eat the food at the restaurant? And then stories about people being
Food
sick
poisoning.
and this and that.
Right.
And that sucks. And it's very, very, very different. I mean, I remember one year in Thailand, they had a random McDonald's like at the track, but it was like a pop-up van. I don't even
McDonald's
know. Anyway,
stand. Roach coach.
We were all at the race, and I was MX2, so I was a bit younger, and the federation or whatever it was said that there was going to be chicken and rice, like chicken and rice for all the riders. You're all going to be fine. There's going to be chicken and rice. Sat down to have this chicken and rice. It was that spicy. You couldn't even eat it. Everyone was crying. It was like, and guys ended up
Curry
going to
chicken.
Honestly, I don't even know. It was just Thai, and guys ended up going and getting chicken nuggets. That was like, okay, right, chicken nuggets. At least you know they're not going to be super spicy, and they're going to be the same blend or whatever they are.
They're not going to hurt.
You get a podium fueled off of chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I heard Usain Bolt did that one year in the Olympics. Like,
I have heard that. Yeah, I have heard that.
But I don't know if that's true or not. But no, it's very different. And again, you have to get into the routine of it, and it's sort of like what I can imagine Supercross is going to be like. Okay, yeah, it's maybe not so much this year, because it's very different this year. There's not as many fans. You don't have signage. You don't have all these media things pulling you in a million different directions. So for me, actually, coming into the first year of riding Supercross, it's going to be quite nice, because it was the same like going into outdoors. I went to Loretta Lynn's. I saw my team, and that was it. I didn't even see the other riders until they were on the gate with their helmets on. So like, in a weird way, it was quite nice, because it narrowed my focus. My focus was just on myself, my bike, what I needed to do, what needs to be on, really. But yeah, if you have 10 media events you've got to do, and your brain's going in a million different directions, it tires you out. When I've got already enough to process. So that's the same with Supercross. So I'm going to go there, and just me and my wife, we go, and I've got my team. We're in our bubble of the team group, yeah, we go and do our job, and that's it. It's obviously, it would be very nice to be back to. I'm hoping that next year there is an Anaheim, you know, and it's like people from Europe can come over, because everyone comes to Anaheim. Anaheim's like, I remember sitting in the Anaheim stadiums when I was 8-9 years old, whatever. Like it's awesome. And yeah,
so weird.
Yeah, it's one of the only races that's sold out every year. Yeah, the rest of them aren't ever really sold out, but A1 is always sold out.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, I obviously it's been a crazy year for everyone. So
it is less distraction though.
It's nice that they're even getting to race, and they've got some fans in there. I mean, I wasn't there. You said you were there at the first one, but was it more normal than Salt Lake? Did you go to Salt Lake last year?
I didn't go to Salt Lake, but Salt Lake, from what I saw, was literally an empty stadium.
Yeah.
And that's weird. It looks like, I mean, there's more people at, like, you know, when things are normal during practice, there's more people in the stands than like what Salt Lake looked like. But I think they said there was like 12,000 fans or something. Yeah. Stadiums are huge, so it still looks empty, because 12,000 ain't shit when it seats 50 to 70,000.
Still drowns them out, but still at least like.
But you know, when Roxon goes over the finish, or Barsha or Craig, and they win, you can feel the energy in the room. You know what I mean? Salt Lake was dead. Like, I felt bad for Tomac, the first championship he wins, and there's like nobody, nothing. It's just still.
So we might as well kind of use this to get right back into the current Supercross. We haven't really had a chance to even break down any of the rounds on the show yet. So what's your take on the first 3 rounds so far?
And who's impressed you the most, do you think?
Because it's been crazy already. I mean, we've had Barsha win the first one. The second one, Tomac. I literally just went over this with you guys.
Tomac the second, and the last one was fuck, now I'm drawing a blank.
Gnarly. Well,
last lap, Roxon got passed by Roxon. Or by Webb.
I mean, it's tough, because I have respect for everyone, but again, I'm supposed to go and race them in a few weeks. So, the boys are on it. They're all riding really, really well. Like we said, there's so many good guys, and it really matters on the start. I know everyone says this every year, but Jesus, starts more than ever so important. Because a guy that could win or get stuck in 12th and end up 8th maybe or something, and it looks like they're all having good battles throughout the whole field. No one's really surprised. Not like, oh wow, this guy is just amazing this year from another year. I don't even know. I mean, they're all good. They're all great guys. They're all riding well, and anyone can win. Yeah, there's been 3 different winners. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have another 5 or 6 or 10 guys. So it's no one's really settled in yet. I mean, no one's settled yet. It's 1 week. They've been racing 1 week. I know they've done 3 rounds, but it's a week. So I don't know. I just want to get out there, and then I can surprise myself, and then I can just say, right, I'll surprise myself.
For sure. What about your boy Jett? Yeah, I don't know what that beeping is. If that comes through to here.
Hey, can you go shut that door real quick?
If that comes through to here, I apologize, but
oh no, I think it's off now.
Oh, they've stopped. Yeah, I just mean I don't know.
But that back door.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll actually pick up through here. It probably will.
That would be good for the show though, if like a whole group of cops just swarmed in, guns drawn.
Yeah,
that looks sick. That's content.
They'd probably be like,
out front. That's why.
Just messing around.
That's not even ours.
6 feet away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you live in the same household where you two do.
Yeah. We're 6 feet right now. You're just in the middle.
Yeah.
What about your boy Jett?
COVID.
Your boy Jett in the 250 class.
He's riding really well. Yeah, Jett is riding really well. 250 class is the
gnarly.
Boys are really fast too. And what are they on then? The East now, and then West is starting.
Orlando too is
250s are always exciting to watch. It is. Like they're always pushing the limit. I mean, the whoops and the way that they're pushing those little bikes. Yeah, it's they're definitely doing well. I'm excited to see what the other coast is going to be. Yeah, and again, I've seen quite a few of the guys riding at like the local tracks at Elsinore and things like that. So it'll be interesting. to see them all on the other coast and then give them guys a little bit of a break and come back. But again, there's a few guys that can win
for sure.
It's been again 3 different winners.
How do you think the rest of the season's going to play out for Jett? I mean, he's 17 still, he's young, he's got the speed, but I mean, being that young, you just don't have the experience yet. So
I don't think it's that. I like, from my perspective, I love Jett, dude. I think he's probably my favorite 250 guy.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, he's so fast, and I feel like his maturity level for his age is very good, and his technique is flawless. It's perfect.
So good.
I just see a little lack in strength. I've seen him crash in the whoops a handful of times, and it always seems to be the same thing. And his technique's perfect, but maybe he's just, he's so good that maybe he just gets a little loose, and then shit goes wrong.
Too comfortable. But
I don't know, man. He's just he's not a very big kid, you know what I mean? He's still growing. He's 17.
Do you see him?
But I feel like a little more strength, and he's unbeatable.
Do either of you guys see him winning a championship this year or no?
I think the strength-wise, going to the strength thing, you can do as much as you want in the gym, but when you're young, I remember when I was 18.
It's just man strength. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, that'll come. But he's got a great group of people around him, great team. I spent time with them when I was over at WW. I went and trained at the 83 compound, and that was awesome. Mega place over there, unbelievable. Chad Reed's old track. It's actually an English kid that's now, his dad's bought it, and I knew him from a team back in England, and I've reached out and managed to go and ride there. And honestly, such a cool place to see. I never spent much time in Florida.
I remember you saying it was the coolest track you've ever ridden.
Yeah, and Jett and Hunter, they're working hard. They've got great people around them. I don't know their full story. They're doing their thing, but they're on a great team. They got great people around them. They're doing their work. I'm
excited to see Hunter.
I am too. I see a lot of very mixed comments on Jett, especially after this weekend. I've been reading a lot of Instagram comments saying that he's arrogant and blah blah blah. I don't really understand where that comes from. I don't see any arrogance coming from him at all, to be honest.
No, he just doesn't. He don't bullshit.
No,
he's pretty straightforward.
And he's getting this weird hate on Instagram that I don't completely understand yet, but. I don't even remember where exactly I was going with that, but yeah, what is the deal with Hunter? When is he coming back? Does anybody know?
I think he's going to do West Coast.
Yeah, West. Yeah,
so the thing with Hunter is he's had a string of injuries, unfortunately, and I think when he came into Salt Lake, he was coming off of an injury, I think collarbone. So it'd be not. I mean, he was hurt not too long ago. But I feel like he's had a good off season, so I'm excited to see him ride Supercross, come in ready for once. But I mean, here's the thing: we haven't seen him ride a lot of Supercross, but I'm excited to see him in outdoor because, dude, he's an animal. And I think it was 2 years ago he had a few race wins.
Yep.
I know he did at High Point.
Yep.
I want to see that Hunter.
I don't know how many weeks he's been right. He had surgery on something. I don't know exactly, but when was it? I saw him before Supercross. I mean, it was a little while ago now. We went out for lunch, or we did something because his wife is another rider that I actually used to race against in Europe. Sister and Millie knows her. So Arno. Yeah. And,
I was gonna say I see Millie and her hang out all the time.
Yeah. So. But I at that point he wasn't riding, and that wasn't that long ago. So I'm pretty sure he's been coming back off of an injury, or he's been you know how it is when they get in the off season. It's right, we need to get this surgery done and get this fixed up. Yeah. So he's definitely been riding now for a bit, but it's not like he's had the whole time to train.
No.
But again.
But at least he's going to make the start of the season. I don't think he's made a start yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I thought I was going to make the start.
This is true. We haven't got there yet.
I had a lung. I collapsed my lung like 7 weeks or 8 weeks or something before the start, and then I had like 6 weeks training. I was like, that was random, just a random.
You didn't even crash.
Yeah, I didn't even crash.
That was weird.
I wasn't even riding. I was talking.
Like,
but that was spontaneous pneumothorax, they called it. That was just from I had a couple before from crashing, and they said the percentage was high, so now I got it fixed. That was fine, not a big deal. But yeah, I had 6 weeks of riding, and you think, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. Last day of riding, crash. But
well, and that's the sport. It's always something. It's
brutal.
Look at, I mean, I guarantee you, between Barsha, Tomac, Roczen, they all have something that's nagging them.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Jett's probably sore as shit. He was limping in practice.
What a tough kid.
But yeah, he actually, he had a bad start in the main, didn't he? But he passed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He rode really good. He just had to come from far back. But his practice crash was pretty nasty.
It was decent. He went over.
Good.
It was super weird. It happened super quick.
It did.
He looked okay,
right
and then he kind of just leaned right into the ground. Yeah.
Right at the end.
Yeah, he just landed a bit funny on.
But that's what I was gonna say before is him getting the weird hate on Instagram. I've talked to Jett a little bit through you. He's like one of the nicest kids. Yeah. Like to talk to him face to face, he's one of the nicest kids. So if you're one of the Instagram haters talking shit on a 17-year-old, maybe take a step back.
Yeah, well, and like I said, that day that I'm at Elsinore, he's literally in the middle of a moto, laying it down, like looks fucking perfect. He's ripping, and like 3 people are like rolling as he goes by and like give him a little fist pump. And in the middle of a rhythm section, he'll do it right back, and he acknowledges everyone that says something. I'm like, looking good out there. I've never even officially met Jett, and I'm like, dude, looking good out there. Thanks, man. Like, he's super respectful. I don't see arrogance there, but at the same time, I mean, some people mistake arrogance for confidence, or the other way around. Confidence for arrogance, but he's confident. And what he's doing is working.
Again, at the end of the day, you just got to do your job. You've got to focus on yourself and do your thing. It doesn't really matter how you get there. You just get the results, and he's doing a great job. There's like I said, there's a lot of different personalities in the sport, different personalities with whoever you meet. So it's just crack
I think he's good for the sport. What is your thoughts on Sexton's crash? Because me personally, I don't know why, but I became a massive Chase Sexton fan coming into the season. I have
the monster helmet. I know why.
Dude, I don't know why.
It's the fucking monster helmet.
His kit is just so sick all the time. But I mean, I've kind of like weirdly became a big Sexton fan, and then he has this gnarly get off, and I mean, does anybody know? Is his shoulder broke, or is
it might have been dislocated? I don't know. The better question is, what's your opinion on sand in Supercross? Because I have a very strong opinion about that, and it's not good.
It looks very, very, very slippery.
Yeah,
and like. I actually said this to my 2 best friends. I was FaceTiming them the other day, and I'm like, either like the sand is really, really hard in the Supercross and completely different from normal, or like the Americans can't ride the sand. Right. I was like, because they make it look really hard. Now, I've not raced it yet, so I actually don't know.
It's not like normal sand track.
I might go there and be like, yeah, okay,
this sucks.
But I tell you why I feel, 1, normally in sand you ride with a sand tire. 2, the suspension is so stiff.
It's not meant to move.
Yeah, so because your suspension is so stiff and it's set for turning tight, and the bike's quite short for Supercross, because that's one thing I actually said to my team. I said, I want to ride this Supercross bike on a sandy place, which I haven't actually done.
See what it's like.
Just to see what it's like, because I'm sure I'll be fine in the sand, but you definitely cannot rush that, because it is that's been eating some people up. I mean, it's a part of the track that I mean, Jett rode through there really nice. Jett was floating. He was quite nice.
He stayed on top.
I really think you can't rush the sand section. But again, I hear the commentators and the people saying, oh, you need to be really aggressive in the sand. But that's also not the case.
The bikes just aren't. The bikes won't allow you to do that. You know what I mean? You might get lucky half the time.
Sliding,
Well, and for like from my perspective, like the last race, I think the sand section was okay. It was a sweeping 90-degree corner, and it went into a straightaway. Yeah. So the one with Sexton, not only it was a tight 90. and went into a rhythm.
Yeah,
So Sexton didn't do anything wrong. His bike just reacted, and it's going into a rhythm section. It's not safe.
Yeah.
So like I like sand if it's just on a straightaway, like maybe a few rollers down a straightaway, or like how it was the last race.
Yeah.
But like they got to pick and choose, because I mean the track builders do a great job, but like sometimes it's just like, you know, you don't know unless you're out there riding it.
Yeah.
What
And it's just
about
not safe.
Start into sand. That'd be pretty cool.
It's funny, I saw a picture and it looked like in front of the gate was super light. I thought they threw sand in front of the gate, like right when you come out.
That'd be
but
cool.
a sand start would be sick.
Like off the gate, sand with
People would eat shit.
sand first turn. Imagine that.
That would be interesting.
Okay, sand first turn. I don't want that.
That'd be
Everyone will crash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off after everybody, and
Just
then
sneak
whole
around the
shot.
inside.
Well, we are.
We're getting close.
We're getting close here.
That's to an hour.
Yeah.
So we're about, I think, like a minute out from.
Yeah. Real quick before we're done here, I have this homie from the East Coast. His name is Mason Wheellock. He went out of his way to hook us up with these insiders. Merch samples basically is what we're doing. We're trying to figure out what exactly we like and what we want to do here, but
He nailed it first go. This sweatshirt's badass.
yeah, he
I'm a big
totally
fan.
took the reins and, you know, basically did it all on his own and just sent it to us, and he's taking good care of us. So
Huge shout out to him.
Huge shout out to Mason. We are going to get some more information on his business and stuff so we can get it out to you, and he's got a brand of himself. So we will get that out to you, but we are going to wrap this episode up with Max Anstie. Max, thank you as always for coming on, dog.
Cheers.
Hey,
thank you very much.
anyone you want to thank before we head out here?
Oh, just you
Go
boys
ahead.
for having me on.
Yeah, good answer, dude.
You got the Twisted Tea Hep gear on, so I guess that says it.
Yeah, don't worry about that. When we're up on the box, you'll get to see enough of that.
Yeah,
Love to see it.
you'll get the Twisted Tea.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Shout out.
No, it's all good. No, honestly, no, it's great to do it. And again, I just want to train and get ready for those races that I'm hopefully coming back for in Orlando.
Well, good luck at the doctor tomorrow, and we're hoping for the best.
Be on
Thank
the
you very
lookout.
much.
Max Anstie, number 34 on the HEP Suzuki.
Coming
we
out.
are out of here.